Hello, BookTube. For Tag Tuesday, I'm going to be doing the Nonfiction November Book Tag 2024. This tag was created by Bookage Travels 1, and I'm drawing on Triumphal Reads' video for the prompts. So I have links to both channels in the show notes down below. Question number 1. What motivated you to pick up your first nonfiction book, and can you remember it? I want to say at the time I was very interested in Macaulay Culkin and the Home Alone movies. And so when I saw a children's biography of Macaulay Culkin in a Scholastic catalog. So here in the United States, when you're in primary school, I would assume elementary school, and I think maybe even into intermediate and junior high, Scholastic will send out little catalogs of books that they publish that students would fill out, get money from their parents, and then turn into their teachers, which would then be sent in. And then a few weeks to a few months later, UPS would drop off boxes of books for the students that ordered books. And I want to say the first nonfiction book I ever owned that I can remember for sure was this short children's biography of Macaulay Culkin. Prompt number 2, or question number 2. How do you choose your next nonfiction read? Well, currently, I'm having some trouble with that. Certainly over the course of this year, my enjoyment of nonfiction has been poor. I have only read 7 works of nonfiction, and those were history or biography. And I try to devote a good chunk of November for Nonfiction November to nonfiction to try to recapture the mojo, and it failed miserably. I'm very much a mood reader. Now, sometimes I could be really into a subject and go over it, but I think it's really by mood that I select what I read, whether it's nonfiction or not. And right now, I'm really having a rough time of it. Question number 3. Do you take notes or annotate your nonfiction books? No, I do not. Question number 4. Have you read a nonfiction book that has challenged your beliefs and assumptions? Yes. I'm going to highlight 2 books here. One in a more literal sense for this question, which is the 100 Years War on Palestine by Rashid Khalidi, that has largely changed my view of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. And the second book is A Big Wonderful Thing by Stephen Harrigan. It is a huge history of Texas that really got me into history for its own sake, rather than as just inspiration fuel. So I'll go with those 2. Question number 5. How do you feel about the intersection of storytelling and factual content in nonfiction? So, since I read a lot of history, pretty much all of my nonfiction collection is history. History is a narrative, and so there is a storytelling element as the narrative of history is constructed. But there comes a point where there's like a fine line between telling a good narrative and going into what is almost like a fictional intrusion into nonfiction. And so, like, the best way I can describe it is if you've ever read, say, Dan Jones, he will often, I think, start his books with a scene that is, it could almost be in a historical fiction novel. And that always raises my hackles. Another example would be Egypt's Golden Couple by John and Colleen Darnell. They have at the beginnings of each chapter, if I remember, a fictionalized narrative of whatever the subject of the chapter is about. And that really annoyed me. Of course, there's so much about that book that annoys me. Still does. Okay. Prompt or question number 6. Is there a topic you wish authors would explore? For sure, I will echo Triumphal Reads with his call for more books on the Hittites. The Hittites definitely need some new histories. I would also call for more ancient Egyptian books, ancient Near Eastern books, for sure. I would like more Chinese histories that are pre-20th century, Japanese history. I would like more than just World War II. So there's quite a bit that could be done. Also, the German Empire, that treats it as its own thing rather than a prelude to the Nazis. Question number 7. Do you incorporate insights from nonfiction into your daily life? Not really. Question number 8. Choose just one book from your nonfiction collection to highlight. So I already mentioned Big Wonderful Thing. Let's do another big one. Hopefully I do not end up having a ton of books fall on me. Oh, this is going to be fun putting this book back up here. Weaver, Scribes, and Kings by Amanda H. Podany. This is a wonderful history of the ancient Near East using the usage of cuneiform as a form of writing. And it is just wonderful. This is history as it should be. I would love to see more from Amanda H. Podany on this region and time period. Okay, they did not fall on me. And finally, if you would like to do this tag, consider yourselves tagged. So that was the nonfiction book tag 2024. I will be back with another tag because this is a triple tag Tuesday. So until then, thank you, BookTube. Have a great afternoon and stay safe.